Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Fiji to develop into an economic powerhouse. 600,000 plus Fijians register for election. And PM commissions more rehabilitated schools.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Developing Fiji into an economic powerhouse for the entire Pacific region would prove our ability to perform as a country. Minister of Economy Isaiah Qayyum says this is one of the government's long-term goals, only possible if resources are managed properly. Kelly Vadala reports.
It's important that Fiji develops an economic base that will generate more employment and raise the standard of living.
To be able to do that, we need to be able to divert our resources both in what we call hard infrastructure, that is, putting up buildings, buying things, construction, what you call soft infrastructure, which is your technology, which is your IT systems, which also includes the third element is your human resources development.
Syed Qayyum says we need to keep our infrastructure strong to ensure the growth of our economy.
Because we are a seafaring country, we are a maritime country, we need to ensure that our port system is strong. We need to ensure our airport system is strong. We need to ensure that our national airline does well. We need to also ensure that all government entities, all government ministries, government-owned institutions look after their staff well also.
Fiji Ports Chairman Hasmukh Patel says they're working to improve their services and economically empower each employee.
Fast turnaround times of commercial vessels, improved crane productivity, dramatically reduced truck turnaround times, and enhanced customer services.
Minister for Economy Syed Qayyum was speaking at the announcement of a bonus payout for Fiji ports today. He said the right people need to be rewarded for their efforts. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Fijian Elections Office has concluded its 2017 nationwide voter registration drive, which saw a huge turnout.
Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Sanim highlighted the total number of registered voters as 616,590 as of yesterday.
In comparison to March 2017, the total number of males as at 25th July 2017 is 313,453. The total number in March was 307,526. The females that have been registered successfully as of 25th July 2017 is 303,137 in comparison to 298,471 in March 2017.
Sanim also highlighted that information that is not from the Fijian Elections Office or from an authentic source must be disregarded or considered with extreme caution.
Our attention has been brought to a social media issue where a person who claims to be a chief volunteer in a political party has compiled and published a concocted table of registered voters in Fiji, up to 800,000.
Supervisor of Elections stresses to all voters to verify the electoral information, especially the source. He adds it is the responsibility of every stakeholder, political party, voter and every Fijian to ensure that election information is always received, provided and supplied with utmost integrity. Tokas Renima, FBC News.
The Water Authority of Fiji is battling the algal bloom at Vaturudam in Nadi that affected thousands of residents in the area. An algal bloom is the rapid increase of accumulation of algae, which can have severe impact on human health and aquatic ecosystems. WAF Chief Executive Opitar Ravai says they are working on procedures to ensure the quality of water is improved.
The high level of nutrients at the dam has caused the algae bloom. But we're dealing with it with aeration, and at the treatment side, we're looking at ways to improve our filtration process and also the treatment at the inlet.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama continues to commission schools in the Western Division as part of his school tour. Many schools have been upgraded and rebuilt following the destruction caused by TC Winston last year. Akusita Thale reports.
These children from Raso, the destructive force of the monster cyclone, severely damaged their school last year. Now they can smile with the new government-funded school building built to withstand the cyclone.
95% of the schools we are rebuilding from Cyclone Winston were built with no structurally approved plans, leaving our students vulnerable to climate-related catastrophe. We can't afford to rebuild to that standard because to do so would stick us in a costly cycle of rebuilding year after year.
The Prime Minister yesterday opened classroom buildings in Dombui Level Muslim School, Tataya Primary School and Nasiani Primary School in Rakiraki.
We are building a Fiji that will last, schools that will stand for generations, homes that can be depended on to keep our people sheltered, and infrastructure that can be relied upon in time of crisis.
The government has allocated an additional $170 million towards the reconstruction of schools in the next financial year. More than 180 schools damaged by TC Winston is under the rehabilitation program. Akusita Thale, FBC News.
Still to come, households encouraged to use renewable energy and Fijians to soon receive greater internet connectivity.
Moala rarada ranalika, o tikongona taunu singa toka, ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na sere.
We are the Rachubuni Kurnambili, Borani Bachkara Hambarabinanga, the Talitakina na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na sere. Bula!
Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
The Energy Department is encouraging households and businesses to shift their energy sources to renewable energy. Director Energy Department Paula Katirewa says electrification around the country has increased significantly as the government encourages the use of renewable energy. Sainani Boiler reports.
The introduction of renewable energy has significantly boosted electrification around the country from 2009 to 2015.
We are moving on to renewable energy and mostly standalone systems. So we are using a lot of solar systems. In fact, here in Fiji, we are nearing the 9,000 mark. And that is the direction that we intend to go so that we will actually close that gap and hopefully by 2020, close it up completely.
The department is currently talking with other Pacific Island countries on how best to access financial assistance for providing sustainable energy.
Beneficiaries of the program include not only banks but financial institutions that invest in rural energy and energy efficiency programs, the private and sector investors, and the overall population of Fiji, as reduced emissions of greenhouse gases and other conventional pollutants.
According to the Energy Department, 5 to 10% of our total population still unelectrified. The government is working to shift energy sources in Fiji to renewable energy by 2030. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
A former corrections officer charged with 1 count of rape along with another accused has denied the allegation. Corrections officer Meli Vaturemba and Nasoni Kambarao are alleged to have raped a female corrections officer 2 years ago. Vaturemba defended himself, saying the alleged victim had given her consent. He said he met the female officer in a nightclub on September 18, 2015, when she asked him to have sex with her. He said on the night it was the first time she had behaved differently as she was drunk. The accused was questioned whether he tried to take advantage of the drunken state of the female officer, to which Vaturemba said no. The trial continues tomorrow. Fijians living in the rural areas will soon receive greater internet connectivity through Telecom Fiji's ultra-fast broadband. Telecom Fiji says there is a high demand for online services in these areas, where around 70% of people depend on information through their phones. Kelly Vavala reports.
With more than 100,000 Fijians connected through Telecom Fiji, it's important that every person is provided with advanced technology.
As we speak, we're working on a project for fiber between Korovo and Raki. That area doesn't have connectivity right now. So once this fiber is in, we expect the project to end in around December. This fiber that we're talking about between Korovo and Raki, that's what we call a transmission fiber. So that increases the resiliency of our network.
Telecom Fiji General Manager Sanjay Maharaj says expanding their services to high-demand areas will cost millions.
The network that we plan to expand between Korovo and Raki, that would be somewhere to the tune of $10 million Fijian. Then there's a fiber, if you know, there's the Samoa cable that's landing into Fiji at around March next year. Once that's through, we're planning to roll out fiber between Savu and Lambasa.
Many Fijians say it's important people living in rural areas stay connected with families and friends.
It brings them closer to where we are today.
Can connected to family, our friends and news.
Telecom Fiji plans to take fiber, Wi-Fi hotspot and 4G Plus close as possible to every Fijian to receive fast internet services even in far-flung areas. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The World Bank has commended the work done by the Fijian government in getting relevant stakeholders to set up a sustainable energy industry. While speaking at the Sustainable Energy Financing Program workshop this morning, World Bank representative Kamleshwar Kelwan says in order to have a sustainable energy industry up and running in the Pacific, relevant stakeholders should work together. The Energy Department is currently having talks with other Pacific Island countries on ways to implement sustainable energy.
And this is where I think Fiji has done this incredibly well, where they have been able to align government policy and aspirations of getting electricity out to the people. At the same time, they have created and perhaps given a bit of an impetus to the private sector to be able to participate in that supply chain. Got the financial institutions involved in promoting the lending side of things, and then have provided consumers a way to access finance so that they can buy the equipment they need on a longer term arrangement so that they can afford it.
Ahead in sports with Jamie Oseakolini-Sao secures overseas contract, but up next is Akosito with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening. Coming up, post-Fiji overhauls operating systems. And in growing Fiji, Mbau Level Road work nears completion. Stay with us.
I'm under of Nayabu Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Leading our business tonight, more than 300 employees of Fiji Ports Corporation Limited received their bonus payout today. Fiji Ports Chairman Hasmukh Patel says it's important to recognize the efforts of all employees.
It has been decided at the last board meeting to allocate a sum of $383,326 to distribute amongst 348 employees as performance incentive payout.
Post Fiji Limited has overhauled its operating systems over the last 3 years, and now more than 80% of their 58 post offices can access online services. Acting CEO Willie Wong says the upgrades and improvements are in response to the challenges the postal services has faced given the decline in the use of postal service globally.
We did a very ambitious task
in converting our old systems into new systems. We did three major system changes, one after the other. We kicked off with the point of sale in 2014. Then we also integrated our system with the financial system. We are currently using Microsoft Navision. And we also changed our payroll system.
We now cross to Elisa Pedi from the HFC Bank.
Good evening. The US dollar carries 0.5% weight in the Fijian dollar basket and affects its value. Our dollar weakened against the US currency today as the Federal Reserve began a two-day policy meeting. This morning, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand's Assistant Governor John McDermott said that a weaker currency would help rebalance economic growth. The New Zealand dollar last week hit its highest level since September of 2016 and is currently not far from those levels. Meanwhile, the Australian dollar slipped by 0.4% against the Fijian dollar this afternoon after the release of the Aussie Consumer Price Index. For the month, it rose to 0.2% against an expected 0.4%. For the year, it rose 1.9% instead of the expected 2.2%. And that is all from me. Pinak.
Thanks, Elisa Pedi. Now looking at today's exchange rates, the Fijian dollar weakened against the Chinese yuan to close at 3.28, while the American dollar also weakened, closing at 48 cents. Now closer to home, the Australian dollar dropped to close just under 61 cents, while the New Zealand dollar strengthened to close just under 65 cents. The PNG Kina and Euro were both down at 1.35 and 41 cents respectively, while the Japanese yen was up, closing at 3.58 Fijian. As for the commodities market, oil prices rose almost $2 per barrel to 48.4, while gold was down more than $5 at 1,250 an ounce, and silver rose a few cents, closing at 16.78 an ounce. Dusty Road will now be a thing of the past with the near completion of rehabilitation of Baulevu Road outside Nausori. FRA Acting Chief Executive Robert Sen says Baulevu Road was once a seal road, and because of its deteriorating condition, the seal had to be ripped off and required resealing. The Baulevu Road work included the ripping, grading, reshaping and surfacing of the road, cleaning of drains and waterways, as well as the installation of new culverts to ensure drainage of the new pavement. Baulevu is 10 kilometers from Nausori town of the Kings Road, and it serves more than 1,000 residents in farming settlements, 3 schools and the villages of Kasavu, Natoika and Nanganivatu. FBC News last night misread profit figures for Freebird Institute, saying 64 million and 42 million instead of 0.64 million and 0.42 million. FBC News apologizes for any inconvenience caused. And that's business this evening. Sports is up next. Here's Jamie.
Nakakosita, and good evening. In sports tonight, Captain Courageous off to USA. And Team Fiji finishes 22nd at Commonwealth Youth Games. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरेकी से. मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन टोटो हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens captain Nosea Kolinisau is leaving the country to play in the United States. Kolinisau, who's a 2-time World Rugby 7 Series winner and Olympic gold medalist, will be joining the Houston Strikers.
Of any contract, and neither is Nosea or Gareth advised me of Nosea signing contract, but I guess on Twitter there's message that he's signed with Houston club in USA. And The details are at the moment not clear.
See your luck in his next adventure overseas, and but I look forward to seeing more talent coming into Fiji and developing that position as not just the rover position which he played, but also as captains as well.
As it tries to rewrite history, the Suva rugby team will leave no stone unturned in their preparation for the HFC Bank Fairbrother Challenge against Nanronga this weekend. Suva has remained the underdog since its 35-12 loss to the Stallions in the Skipper Cup semi-finals earlier this month and is out to pull one back. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
Being the lone team to have defeated Nanronga during the Skipper Cup round-robin competition, the Sayasi fully coached side is aware of what lies ahead.
Need to maintain a composure, a concentration throughout the 80+ minutes.
The capital side has what it takes to give the defending champions a good run this Saturday, with a boost from a few flying Fijian reps.
Need to control our aggression and also keep the ball to our side and control that possession.
Fiji Rugby Union's Chief Executive John O'Connor says Suva needs to work hard to beat Nanronga.
Interestingly, Suva has a very young team. The team that needs to go down and wrest the trophy from Nanronga is a team that needs to be disciplined.
Suva last wrestled the Fairbrother Trophy from Nanronga in 2012 and are ready to repeat this feat. However, only time will tell when the final whistle is blown at Lawanga Park on Saturday. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
Two Fijian wingers playing in France, Waisena Delevu and Tosaya Raisunge, will be tried in court on November 29th.
Yeah, we're just monitoring the players and receiving reports on what's happening from the French Rugby and also from the Players Association, which is helping them out in terms of process.
Meanwhile, both players have been released on bail. Fiji's representatives to the 2017 Commonwealth Youth Games in the Bahamas arrived home this morning. The national squad ranked 22nd at the Games after winning 2 bronze medals that came from Taichi Vakasama and the Fiji men's sevens team. Meli Tavanga reports.
Despite Fiji not winning many medals in the Commonwealth Youth Games last week, our athletes showed an impressive performance in breaking few records.
They broke about 6 national records and set about 8 personal bests. We look at athletics, 2 of the athletes clocked personal best as well. We look at the rugby men's, didn't win anything the last games. They walked away with bronze.
15-year-old Temafa Yalimaiwai was the youngest athlete to represent Fiji at the Games. He set a new record in the 200 meters freestyle event of 2.04.21 seconds, beating Carl Probert's record set in 1992 in the time of 2.04.52 seconds.
It was very exciting and I learned a lot from it, and I was just happy to be able to represent my country overseas. I'll need to do a lot of hard work to be able to compete with the overseas athletes.
17-year-old Helena Young, who proved to be a big surprise making the semi-finals and placed 6th in the 100 meters event, says she will not stop here. Young says she will work towards improving her time.
You can see it's not as competitive as Commonwealth Youth Games as well as the South Pacific Games. I mean, like, they were running really good times there, and I think there was good exposure for us athletes.
Team Fiji will be welcomed in a Thanksgiving dinner at Suva's Holiday Inn at 6 p.m. on Saturday. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
The Fiji women's basketball side lost its 3rd match to Kazakhstan at the Women's Asia Cup Division B tournament in India. Fiji went down 71-48 in a fast-paced encounter. Milique Mainavure starred for Fiji as a leading scorer with 28 points, including 5 rebounds and 4 steals. Fiji's next match is against host India tomorrow. In today's play of the day, synchronized diving, a sport in which more than one diver must perform synchronized dives. Sounds simple enough, right? And that was the goal for Team Mexico and Brazil competing in the mixed 3-meter synchro springboard final at the FINA World Aquatic Championships in Budapest. However, things didn't exactly work out that way for either duo. That's it from sports this evening. Angie joins you later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, we'll see how one simple scarf can turn into an anti-paparazzi paraphernalia. That's coming up.
Bula, kerang mai singatoka, kerang do talita kana varorong na radio Fiji One and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo sekolah untuk talita kana radio Fiji One kena domoy viti.
Kaya kuyago sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nanronga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagundurong barong na radio Fiji One na domoy viti.
Na radio Fiji One na domoy viti na honga ni BNN.
In tonight's new media, Sony's latest flagship smartphone is able to film at 960 frames per second. It produces footage 4 times slower than the iPhone 7 and Samsung Galaxy S7's slowest slow-mo modes. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Hope your midweek is rolling fine, and if you are a tourist, then I'm pretty sure you're enjoying these gorgeous conditions. Let's take a quick look at today's conditions in the west. Skies were much clearer with plenty of sunshine. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, it was dry, but there is still possible chances for few odd showers. And up in Vanua-Levu, there were scattered clouds and it was mostly dry. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, high tide tonight will be at 9:06 with a low tide tomorrow morning at 3:09. See the beauty of sunrise at 6:35. For tomorrow, it's looking good with a bit of sunshine and few light showers. Tomorrow's temps, Nandi, Lautoka and Mombasa will be warm with highs of 28. And looking further on to Friday, get your umbrellas ready rather. We are expecting some showers. And that, Jackie, wraps up our FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, should parents be educated on how to discipline their children?
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. In order to discipline my children, I first need to be educated on how to deal with kids.
Yes, because I think that kids are supposed to start from home.
Parents, they should know everything, like that's what we think. But of course, today's world, a lot of issues are happening, and the rights of the child is very strong. And disciplining children in a loving way is very important.
Well, actually, the parents are already educated. They know more than the kids. The children should listen to their parents, or whatever they are saying is for their better future. And they're the ones who are going to look after them.
Forget the big sunglasses or using your hand to stop that unwanted photo from being taken. Celebrities like Kim Kardashian no longer have anything to fear from photographers. CNN's Richard Quest demonstrates how one simple scarf turns into everything for them. Recapping the main stories, Fiji to develop into an economic powerhouse. 600,000 plus Fijians register for elections, and PM commissions more rehabilitated schools. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. This week we are asking, are there enough marriage counsellors in Fiji? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day was sent by Michael Nest and John Ongle. This picture was taken at Maui Bay in Singatoka, a favourite pit stop along the Queens Highway. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable evening. Good night.
Bula, kero mai singatoka, kero ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Usiku minasoma futikola ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo silil tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tale tajiri ang gitu pinasabale, nagpunto rongo. Barong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na ponga ni BNN.